need a medic! Now!
The purpose of JRTC is to train Army and Air Force units to simulate what they will actually see when they get downrange. In JRTC, you'll be able to see the full range of ground evac, medevac, and aerovac.
When the soldiers are first wounded on the field, immediately do self-aid buddy care, and they'll either medevac them in by rotary wing or by field litter ambulance up to the Charlie Med or the cache. From there, they get into the AE system. They'll fly out via fixed wing up to the Massive. Massive will stage them for a short period of time, and from there they'll go up fixed wing again, out of country, back to the higher echelon care.
JRTC is very unique in the sense that this is the closest airmen can get to the battlefield without being deployed. It's important that we seize on opportunities such as this, where we can work side by side with our sister services and develop and move forward as one team. We currently have a 98% survival rate in the evacuation process. Our goal is to continue to increase that to maybe 99%. And one way to do that is by coming to places such as JRTC.
On a battlefield, when a soldier is injured, the medics take care of them, and the first person that they're brought to is Charlie Med. We're the ones who stabilize them, who decide whether they need to be transported to further care, the higher echelons such as the cache, whether they can work with our FAST team, receive surgery while here in our area of operation, or whether we can treat them and release them. So it is our job to decide the extent of the injury and what the best next level of care is. Focus here is real-world situations, real-world possibilities. In case this unit ever has to go into an environment that is not in the United States or another hostile environment, how we would handle our troops as they were injured or brought to us. And right now, my biggest focus is training the medics to be able to handle all those situations, all those injuries. The Air Force liaison team has been able to work with us to decide how best to transport patients when they need to go from one spot to the next. And that's something that in other units I've worked with, we haven't had the Air Force liaison. So it makes a huge difference when you have the experts, the people who know what the capabilities of transporting from one place to another are right there working with you.
We're the liaison officers between the ground and the aircrew. The focus of our training is learning to come into a bare base, to build up our operations, establish who we are, and get patients evacuated. We come in, we establish comm with headquarters to let them know that we are here. We try to tap into like a Charlie Med group is who we're tapping in to where we're going. We wait for casualties to happen. Once casualties enter and they need to be air evac'd out, I can enter them into traces. Once they're entered into traces, they're validated by JPMRC. Once they're validated by JPMRC, JPMRC goes to AECT to try to find airlift. Once airlift is established, AECT is notified, a crew is notified, and they can come down and air evac the patients in which we've helped validate.
The 115th Combat Support Hospital is a hospital that is deployed in times of contingency operations. The cache is set up in less than 72 hours, our 44-bed element, and it is broken down into the different various areas. The EMT 6-bed unit, 2-bed OR, also we have the CMS section so we can sterilize all of our instruments. With the ICU units, we have 2 12-bed units and then 1 20-bed intermediate care unit. So we can configure it in any way from 44 beds to 248 beds. When the soldiers get to the cache, typically they've been seen at 2 levels prior, and what we do is we will stabilize patients and ship those that require care beyond level 3. Those will be shipped to a level 4 facility. Those that can be maintained in the level 3 will be taken care of until they are returned to duty. I think it's a great experience. I think it teaches you, number one, you're in an environment that is similar. They do test you and also make sure that they challenge you. So in that respect, you see a lot of the casualties that you would see through the mass cal situation, the various levels from minimal to expectant. So it prepares you for what you would see downrange in a simulated type environment, and allows you to think on your feet, and see all that is entailed in providing care for large numbers of patients with various injuries.
The aeromedical evacuation operations team is in charge of managing all the aeromedical evacuation crews, and we have all their equipment here. We tell them when they're going to be flying. We keep them in either crew statuses, and then we also get them to and from the aircraft. We basically are kind of their go-to people to launch a mission. The importance of the training here at JRTC is to really get that joint aspect. It helps to bring the Army into and understand how we fly, why we need things a certain way, and then it also helps the other agencies knowing what aeromedical evacuation is. Some of the ways that we've overcome the challenges is we've actually stood up some of our own training. We've worked a lot with the MASF as far as taking them out to an aircraft and having an air crew up there, working with them loading and unloading patients so that they're familiar with the aircraft and how to carry litters and work with that properly.
MASF is a mobile aeromedical staging facility. We're kind of an entry point into the aeromedical evacuation, the AE system. And we prep the patient, make sure they're ready to fly. Just the environment for patient care is different in the air. So we make sure that that's all taken care of, all the paperwork's in order, and that they're set to fly. Try to minimize complications in the air. The focus is to get a little more into the tactical environment, to get out of our equipment a little deeper. We don't do it as often as we like back home, so we're thankfully out here to get the hands-on experience. The training's important here just because of the realism that comes with it. Because we have an AE crew on the ground, we can talk to them. We have real planes, which we don't always train on back home. The Army's here. We have that interface. We can blend our languages, our talk and their talks. We all understand each other's perspective. Just become part of a larger team than just ourselves.
Our air crews have been very adaptable and trying to work with as many people as possible.
In JRTC, we are providing the aerovac element of the exercise to help train the Army and also facilitate more training for Air Force as well, as far as learning how to get patients out of theater. As a flight nurse, I can be one of two roles, flight nurse or second flight nurse or MCD, medical crew director. And once we have a patient on the flight, we pretty much secure our patients and make sure they're clinically stable. If they're stable, we go ahead and tell the front end we're ready to fly.
You guys have any questions for me? Anybody in pain right now, needs pain medication?
During the flight, we actually just do patient care. Anything that comes up we can handle as a three-man crew. I think it's important to come here so that we can actually show the different services what we do and how we do it. So this training allows us to show our sister services how to prepare our patient for evacuation. And it gives us a chance to actually interact with those people and show them what we need to do for them to actually get our patients to us and get them out of theater. I think that the troops going downrange, if they didn't know that we could get them out within 24 hours, they wouldn't want to go. So I think it's important that to our country, family members, wives, spouses, everybody, that we're here to actually get their loved ones back to safe care. We can evacuate somebody from across the world within 24 hours back to home state. I think that's pretty impressive, and I think most troops appreciate that.
This is hands down the most realistic training that we've experienced as a company in the past year. We can't duplicate this back at Fort Campbell.
It throws a lot of different scenarios at you that you actually have to think on your feet, which could possibly happen in a deployed location.
Coming to JRTC before deployment helped in that we were able to rehearse exactly how we were going to do it downrange.
As a flight nurse, I can be deployed as an AOT, an AELT, or as a flight nurse. So with this training ahead of time, I'm better prepared for one of the ways that I wish I can deploy.
JRTC is a big help in the fact that it just gets you used to into the mindset of training as you fight and working as a team.
Personally, I've taken a lot away from this, that joint aspect of how we get a wounded warrior to their final destination.
The training here is real. It's extremely critical to the wounded warrior. This is the only way we can train our personnel in retrieving the wounded warrior from the lowest level, all the way to the next echelon of care. It's as real as it gets.